This is Tank's Vlog for March 23rd, 2019. We're wrapping up today in sports. NCAA tournament still going on, but I'll be to that in a minute. I went to the Mikey Strong charity hockey game today at the Prudential Center, and that was totally great. Lots of good time. Fun watching some of the old Devils out there. Some of a couple of Rangers, a couple of Islanders, and of course Boomer Esiason on the ice, which is a unique experience seeing this former NFL MVP skating on the ice. Didn't look like he was moving around too good. I guess things are starting to catch up to Boomer over there. He looked a little slow out there at times, but it was fun watching Boomer Esiason play with his adult men's hockey team that he likes playing with down there in New York. And it was for charity, of course. Mike Nichols was the hockey player, a high school hockey player that was paralyzed a few years ago in New Jersey. Now, of course, we had Greg Giannotti and the whole Boomer Esiason morning crew out there, including Craig Carton, who, you know what's going to happen to him soon, but he was out there with well wishes for the family there. He used to be a big part of this game. He actually played. It's too bad Greg Giannotti couldn't get out there and play. That would have been a little fun. Of course, Greg Giannotti actually stopped by and interviewed me. So hopefully he post that. I saw Al Hughes out there. But that was a great time. Maybe next year they could bring Mike Francesa. He could give the invocation before the game. He could bless the pucks. You know, that's the problem with Mike Francesa. He just doesn't have enough fun. When I hear these crank phone calls, it's almost like he turns into Mo Sislak, and that's what brings more crank calls. I mean, they had one that was actually clever the other day, saying that St. John's only scored 65 points on Wednesday night in honor of Mike Francesa's 65th birthday. If he had a sense of humor, he wouldn't be bothered by this, but he has none. And what would be great if Mike Francesa comes to the Mikey Strong event, he could talk to Mike Nichols about what it's like to be named Mike. You know, he loves that joke. But seriously, it was a great time. Hopefully they'll post some more of it online. And I got to meet Greg Giannotti, Al Hughes, and got to see Boomer Esiason play hockey. And of course I posted some pictures. I'll see if I can post a little bit more. And that was a good time. Of course, I'll be at the Prudential Center again today watching the Wounded Warriors, also known as the New Jersey Devils, play the Arizona Coyotes. Hey. Just think there's only 2 more games I have to go to this year. Season's almost over, mercifully. And now we get to watch the Mets next week. Now to the NCAA. All 3 number 1 seeds from the ACC were in action, and all 3 had to sweat things out for at least the first half. It was Duke taking on North Dakota State, and they only had a 4-point lead at the half. Of course, they turned things on in the second half, thanks to Zion Williamson and R.J. Barrett. Won the game going away, 85-62. Last year, Virginia was the first number 1 team to go down to the first round to a 16 seed, and they were down again, trailing Gardner-Webb at the half, 36-30. Boy, you know, people in Virginia must have been the lump in the throat. They must have been heart palpitations. But in the end, they outscored the running Bulldogs 41-20 in the second half and won the game 71-56. And North Carolina trailed Iona at the half, 38-33. But then Mike Francesa sent out a tweet, and it put the old-fashioned mush on the Gales. Tar Heels outscored them in the second half, 55-35, win the game 88-73, of course. I've picked all 3 teams for the Final Four, so That was a close one. Tennessee beat Colgate 77-70. It was Texas Tech stomping in Northern Kentucky 72-75. Is it me, or from a distance, does Northern Kentucky's logo look like a taco? It was Houston crushing Georgia State 84-55. Buffalo, that's my dark horse. Buffalo is a team I think can make the Elite Eight, and it was Buffalo beating their former coach, Bobby Hurley, who now coaches Arizona State, 91-74. Bobby Hurley, of course, was largely responsible for turning things around in Western New York, but, of course, as many coaches do, left for a bigger program. Virginia Tech beat St. Louis 66-52. It was one of the big upsets of the day. It was the Anteaters. Yes, I said that right. The Anteaters of UC Irvine over Kansas State 70-64. Big 12 conference struggling big time. Oregon walked all over Wisconsin 72-54. On Wisconsin, what a letdown. And I actually had Wisconsin going on a nice little run. Go figure. Here goes another Sweet 16 of mine. Yeah. Iowa fell behind early but rallied. Big second half, beating Cincinnati 79-72. It was Ohio State in a mini upset, beating Iowa State 62-59. As I mentioned before, those Big 12 teams are not playing very well. It was Washington 78-61 over Utah State. Oklahoma, there's a Big 12 team that had a good day, beating Ole Miss 95-72. It was Liberty beating Mississippi State 80-76. As they rallied from a deficit in the second half, they were down by 1.9 points. And Central Florida over Virginia Commonwealth 73-58. All four 9 seeds won their games against the 8 seeds. Of course, that's always a toss-up game, so it really doesn't matter with that one. That's not really a true upset. So the second round begins on Saturday. And just think, the tournament, in terms of games played, is already half over. NBA on Friday night. And what more can you say about the season James Harden is having? James Harden, who is already the fourth most 50-point games in a season since 1976, joined elite company with 2 60-point games in a season, putting up 61 to lead the Rockets over the Spurs 111-105. The MVP is a two-man race right now between Harden, last year's winner, and Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks. And Giannis Antetokounmpo had a very solid performance tonight, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, as the Bucks remained the best team in the NBA. Brooklyn Nets continuing their road trip, their long road trip, went into LA and had a battle, but emerged victorious. 111-106. Lakers are officially eliminated. LeBum. Ah, yeah, you're the king. You're the king. You're the king of watching the playoffs on TV, Mr. James. Have a nice offseason. Hopefully the Lakers don't get any good stars, so it continues to be failure for them in LA. It doesn't matter who's on that team. I still hate the Lakers. And LeBron James just going there makes me hate them even more. In Brooklyn, very important win. They still have 2 games left on this long road trip. And if they could win at least one of those games, I mean, if they go home 3-4 from this road trip, you got to say it was somewhat successful. It was the Thunder, 116-109 winners over the Raptors. Bad loss for Toronto at home. It was the Nuggets slamming the Knicks, 111-93. Knicks now sit at 14-59. Putrid. Well, at least they'll probably have the most lottery balls. We'll see if that comes up craps in the draft or if they get the number 1 pick and can get somebody that could actually turn that franchise around. It was the Clippers surviving a scare in Cleveland as they beat the Cadabers 110-108. And the Magic over the Grizzlies 123-119. Very light night on ice as there's just 2 games in the NHL. It was the Wild keeping their playoff hopes alive with a big win in Washington, 2-1 over the Capitals. And Jacob Silfverberg scored in overtime to lead the Ducks to a 4-3 win over the Sharks. Costly loss for San Jose. And that's it for hockey. And, of course, Saturday's always been the biggest night for the NHL. Give me 1 second. Today's 3 stars are James Harden for that 61-point night against the Spurs. R.J. Barrett of Duke, who basically led them back in the second half. And Jarrett Culver of Texas Tech. Today's birthday shout-out goes to Kyrie Irving. We don't know where he'll play next year. Probably won't be Boston. Could be the Knicks. Could be the Nets. He turns 27. And we take a look back to 1974, when UCLA saw its 7-year reign as NCAA champions come to an end with a loss in the semifinal to NC State. And NC State, of course, would win the national championship that year. So check out the full story at Barstool Sports and Sports Encyclopedia, where sports history lives. Good day.